Hey everyone, before we begin, a quick reminder, if you're finding these updates useful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Your support means the world, and it keeps us able to bring you the information that really matters. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Siren, and I'm truly glad you're here today, because what we're about to talk about is something that could affect any pensioner, any benefit recipient, and frankly, anyone relying on their bank account too. Access the money they've worked their whole life for across the UK right now. Bank accounts linked to pension payments are being blocked. Yes, blocked. With no warning, no clear explanation, and no chance to prepare. People are walking to cash machines to take out their weekly money and being met with the dreaded transaction declined. Others are showing up at the bank counter and being told they can't access their own funds because their account is suddenly under review. And the impact of this is already devastating. Missed rent, empty cupboards, unpaid bills, and the humiliation of being treated like a stranger in your own bank. This is all tied to a new DWP-linked banking policy that is quietly rolling out across the country. It's not a rumor. It's not a one-off glitch. It's real, and it's already affecting thousands. The worst part? Most pensioners don't even realize it's happening until the moment they try to withdraw money and discover they've been locked out of their own account. Imagine standing at the till with your groceries only to find your card is declined. Imagine missing your gas payment in the middle of winter because the system flagged you for a review you never asked for, and here's the most shocking truth. This has nothing to do with you doing anything wrong. It's not about fraud or overspending. This is happening because of new layers of account verification, identity checks, and automated flagging processes triggered when your DWP payments hit your bank. If your state pension, pension credit, attendance allowance, or any other DWP benefit goes into your account, you are potentially at risk. So why is this happening now? According to internal notes and banking sources, this is part of a coordinated effort between the DWP and UK banks to tighten up identity alignment and fraud prevention. They call it identity confirmation alignment. It sounds harmless enough, maybe even sensible. After all, scams against pensioners have been rising, and the government wants to protect public funds. But the way this rollout is happening is creating chaos. Here's how it works in practice. The new system cross-checks details between your bank and the DWP. If anything is even slightly inconsistent, your name is spelled differently, your address isn't updated on one system, or an old account number is still linked to your account, can be flagged for review. And that review means you are locked out until the bank clears the hold. No money, no warning, no timeline. I want you to imagine this. You've budgeted carefully for the week. Your state pension lands every Thursday. You've planned your grocery run, set aside money for your electricity top-up, and scheduled your direct debit for rent or council tax. You arrive at the ATM, type in your PIN, and the screen flashes transaction declined. You check your balance and it says contact bank. You go to the branch and hear the words, your account is under review. You ask why, and the bank tells you to contact the DWP. The DWP says it's a banking issue. And in the middle of this finger pointing, you're left stranded without access to the money you rely on to live. It's humiliating. It's frightening. And for many older people, it feels like being punished for simply existing. I've heard from pensioners who went days without groceries, some who missed crucial prescription refills because their debit card didn't work, and others who were charged late fees because a direct debit bounced during the freeze. This is not a minor inconvenience. It's a crisis created by poor communication and a lack of safeguards for the people most affected. What makes it worse is that this is not limited to one or two banks. Reports have surfaced from across multiple high street banks, some of the very institutions most widely used by pensioners. And these holds can last for days or even over a week. Imagine 7 days of being told to just wait while the systems talk to each other. For someone on a fixed income, that's the difference between heat and cold. Between food and hunger. The government says this is about fraud prevention and reducing benefit overpayments. And in theory, that sounds reasonable. We all want to stop scams, but the way it's being handled punishes innocent people first and leaves them to fix the mess later. Older accounts, especially those opened decades ago, long before online banking, are most vulnerable to being flagged. And it's not just fraud triggers that cause these freezes. Something as small as a middle name missing from your bank record or a past change in marital status can be enough to trip the system, and let's talk about the emotional toll. Retirement is meant to be a time when you finally exhale after decades of work, but instead, many pensioners now live with a new anxiety that the money they rely on might suddenly be inaccessible. I've spoken to people who described feeling treated like criminals by their own bank. One man in his 70s said, "I've worked all my life. I've never owed anyone anything. And now I'm made to feel like a fraudster because a computer says my name doesn't match." It's not just about the money. It's about dignity. It's about feeling safe and independent. And when that's taken away, it leaves a lasting impact. So what can you do to protect yourself? First, make sure your bank details exactly match what the DWP has on file. Check your name, including any middle names or initials. Make sure your address is the same in both places. If you've moved recently or even years ago, update both your bank and the DWP to ensure they match. Second, if your bank contacts you to confirm your identity or details, don't ignore it. I know we're all cautious about scams, and that's good, but in this case, some of these checks are legitimate. Always call the number on the back of your bank card rather than clicking links. Ask them directly if there are any DWP-related flags or reviews on your account. Third, if you are already affected, don't panic, but act quickly. Ask your bank for a full explanation in writing. Then call the DWP and ask if there are any benefit account verification flags on your record. Keep records of every call and every person you speak with. If you are left without essentials, contact Citizens Advice or your local MP's office. They can often escalate cases faster than going through standard call centers. Here's a bonus tip most people don't know. Some banks are testing a pre-alert system for accounts that receive DWP payments. If your account is flagged for review, you can receive an early warning before your money is frozen. It's not widely advertised, but if you ask your bank about DW-linked pre-release notifications, some are already honoring them. That one step could save you from days of stress and unpaid bills. And finally, share this information. The reason so many pensioners are being caught off guard is because no one warned them. No letters, no announcements, no clear guidance. By spreading the word, you're helping others protect themselves from the same nightmare. I know how hard it is to stay. On top of these changes, life shouldn't be this complicated in retirement. You've earned peace of mind. You deserve respect. And yet, we have to look out for one another. Because right now, the system is not doing enough to look out for us. If you've stayed with me to the end, you now know how to protect yourself. Check your details, stay proactive, and don't let a silent policy change put your independence at risk. We'll keep following this story, and I promise to bring you every update so you're never left in the dark.